Hi, I'm Grace Liu. I play Grace in Inside Out 2, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Watch Inside Out 2 in theaters and see all the feels!
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I am so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today we're going to be talking all things Inside Out 2 with Grace herself, Grace Liu. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Grace.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Yeah, you are very welcome. I'm so excited. Like I said, we talked about before we got on, got to talk to Sumayyah and Kensington about the film. So I can't wait to dive into things with you, but to kind of start things off, just to kind of like introduce audiences to you, if they're not maybe familiar with some of your previous work. Where did your love from movies kind of come from in the first place, and how did you just get started in acting to begin with?
Wow, that is such a great question. I I remember I had a ton of Disney movies on like Blu-ray DVD, and I would just watch those all the time as a kid. And then when my parents thought we were old enough to go to the movies, we went all the time.
That's
I
awesome.
think, yeah, I don't know, just a really core childhood love of animation, especially, and just all things magic that comes with being an actor.
Do you have like what are some of your favorites, like favorite Disney movies?
Ooh,
I know it's hard to pick because there's definitely, I mean, there's so
yeah,
many,
there's so
classics out
many.
there, but
I think me and my brother, for a long time, we watched Ratatouille and Up just back to back all the time.
I would say if you would have been, it would have been like way back in the day, like when they had, like VHSs. If you guys, you probably would have
Yes.
ran the VHS tapes out because that definitely happened. I did that as a kid.
I remember, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and you play Grace in Inside Out too, which I think is really funny. Now, do
No.
you know was the character's name Grace originally, like even before you joined, or is that something did they name it Grace like after you? I'm curious about that.
It's honestly the craziest coincidence because I got the audition for Grace and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna book this. But I was reading like the breakdown and everything and the dummy sides that they gave us, and I was like, she is exactly like me. This is crazy.
That's
Someone
so
at
cool.
Pixar just got me to a T, and for some reason.
That you guys like that all of you, it sounds like all of you just really connected, with your
Yeah.
characters instantly. So what was can you just talk about like the journey of you joining Inside Out 2, from your audition to your reaction once you found out that you actually booked the role and all that stuff?
Totally, yeah. I first auditioned way back, I think summer of 2022. This was right after I graduated from high school, or it might have been a little bit before that too, 2021, 22-ish. And then I found out, just like on a car ride back from going somewhere, I got an email from my reps, uh, and they told me I'd gotten it. It was like such a surreal moment. And then I started college, and a few months later, they flew me up to Emeryville, and I met Kelsey and Mark and the entire team at Pixar. It was pretty, a pretty crazy couple months.
Did you have like any idea when you were? Because I know a lot of times when you do like the auditions and stuff like that, they kind of, like you said, give you like dummy sides or
Yeah.
and try and kind of hide what it is. Did you have any idea that this could have been Inside Out 2 along the way, or were you kind of just like totally in the dark?
I gotta be honest, I really think I should have noticed it sooner.
There were
I
some hints there.
There were so many hints. I mean, they didn't hide the hockey stuff, and I should have caught on to that. And I was like, oh, hockey, okay, sports. Let's get into it. Maybe this is like some crazy. There's like
Yeah.
a fantastical element, and they're like making it all really grounded. But and then my agent, after I got it, he was like, guess what? It's Inside Out too. I was like, ah, the
Um,
hockey thing makes much more sense now.
yeah, you're like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with the first movie, prior to working on Inside Out 2?
I remember seeing it. I think came out in 2015, and I don't think I ended up. I remember like feeling so deeply resonating with the movie. I I feel things very easily, so it's not very hard to do that to me. But I love the movie, and I don't think I really like processed it until much later, because like surprisingly, after the movie had come out, um, I'm pretty sure in the near the tail end of the year, I found out that I was moving and
Oh,
gonna be
wow.
changing schools and to a whole different city that I'd never been to ever, and basically went through the same journey that Riley did.
Wow. So you were, yeah, you say, so I had a whole new kind of meaning to you after at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think I even made the connection until like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
But it was so like reflective of what my life was like.
I and one, I can't believe, I mean, that the film is like almost like 10 years old because it's
I
like
know.
I don't, it doesn't feel like that movie came out almost like, 10 years ago, but I revisited the first one before watching the second one like in theaters. And yeah, I think I just had like myself had like a whole new appreciation for it, just where it's,
Mm.
it's been a while since the original film came out. Um, it was just like, wow, I think it hit me a lot more almost this time around than when I initially even saw it. And that's what makes these films great is just that you can get different things out of them depending on that what point you are in your life.
Absolutely. And I feel like nostalgia kind of does that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, the nostalgia in Inside Out too. And real quick, guys, I should have probably said it at the beginning, but there will be probably some slight spoilers in here, so just make sure that you've seen the film. I feel like a lot of you guys might have, but if you haven't, make sure you go check it out. But yeah, when nostalgia came out those like couple times, I thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
Remember what did she say? She's like, remember when we saw them? And it was just like it happened like a few minutes ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And the line with the oh yeah, you're not gonna be here for another 10 years, like two best friends' weddings and like a kid or something like
A
that.
graduation or
Yeah,
something.
graduation.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it's so good.
That's so true. I feel like though there's a lot of nostalgia right now for just like even like pre-pandemic stuff. It's been
Yeah.
like ages.
Yeah, no, I mean that yeah, the whole like pandemic, it just kind of made time, I don't know,
All
just really
wonky.
weird.
Yeah.
It
It's like
didn't
nothing has passed, but everything has.
yeah, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, no, that was actually, 5 years ago or whatever. And it's like I thought that was just like last year. So
I
it's
know.
it's crazy. Now, when playing Grace, did you draw from any like specific experiences in your life, as far as bringing this character to life to the big screen?
I think something really exciting about Grace was they told me just to bring all of my like excitement. And I that was very easy to access for me, may I say. So she was just they told me to just bring me. And I think Kensington and Sumayyah can say the exact same thing. Like it was so much of what they let us do was just embody the characters and like build our friendships in real time together. It was really fun, I guess, to just I don't know, be quirky and be excited in ways I haven't gotten to in the past with other roles.
Yeah, they were saying it sounded like it was a very collaborative environment. Like I said, they kind of let you guys do your own thing. And I feel like that just kind of adds to the authenticity of these
Yeah,
characters too. You want them to feel like they're actually, teenagers. Um,
totally.
so I think that definitely helps letting you guys kind of have that freedom.
Yeah, I feel like something that Kelsey, our director, and Mark, our amazing executive producer, they did was just let us be like teenagers. I think for some reason it's like a little bit stigmatized, I feel, in entertainment today, where I guess it trickles down where kids are feel like they have to act a certain way or like be more mature than they are.
Yeah.
And also like teen girls especially, they're kind of always like on alert trying to fit in as best they can or appeal to what everyone else wants them to be.
Yep.
So just them letting us be ourselves was kind of amazing. Like we were equals creatively, and that was really beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes across like on screen, like with these characters, you can definitely tell. So that's just like another layer that I really appreciated because you really notice, those kind of things. And how has playing a character like Grace, how has it affected how you're able to manage some of your emotions? Has it given you a new perspective on, anything in your life?
Absolutely. It's something that I honestly didn't realize until the movie came out a couple weeks ago was just how much grace means to me. I I truthfully did not even realize the kind of impact that seeing a character like Grace on screen would have had on me like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like the very subtle Asian representation means so much. Like there's something really incredible about films like Mulan, like Raya, like Crazy Rich Asians, where the focus of the film it's centered around Asian stories, and shows us that we can be protagonists as well. Like we matter, but I think it's also really incredible having that subtle Asian representation that like we just casually exist. There's no reason or rhyme for it. We just kind of are in this like beautiful tapestry of humans. Like I just having somebody on screen with my chubby cheeks that I had, like it just I feel like it means so much. And also with the whole emotional aspect, I feel like since that move right after Inside Out came out, I had a ton of anxiety, and I feel like I often sort of like demonized my own emotions. It was a
Yep.
lot of like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I doing this to myself? Putting faces onto these emotions and just humanizing them, I feel like has made it easier to kind of comfort myself. Like, all of my emotions are just trying to protect me.
Yeah, no, I really love what they did. I mean, with all the emotions, but with anxiety specifically in this film, just they
Absolutely.
never made her like a full-on villain, which I thought was really smart. Just the way that they handled her in the film. She's trying to help Riley. She thinks what she is doing is helping Riley.
Yeah.
So I really love that. I mean, I told you I've seen the film 3 times now. Um, the panic attack with Riley, that scene every time that I've seen it just totally just hits me, right in the feels. There was a
Yeah.
couple people sitting next to me last night watching the movie, and you heard the one girl. She said, "Oh, like oh my God, she's having a panic!" Like, and she started crying. And so it's definitely a scene that's I think connected with a lot of people. Just the way that the portrayal of this character and Maya Hawke.
Truly.
I
Oh
mean, she
my
was
God.
incredible as
She's
anxiety.
so good.
And looking back, like, so I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I was talking to
Yes.
Kensington about this, and looking back, just like her character Robin on the show, I was like, man, that was such good casting
It
for
makes
this
so much
character.
sense.
Yeah, because she has a little bit of that anxiety kind of to her character, and yeah, I mean, it was just amazing. So that was like one of the scenes particular for me. And then Joy, when Joy has that moment where she says, I like maybe we can't like beat anxiety, and I guess this was what
Yeah.
happens when you get older, you
You
feel
just
less
feel less
joy.
joy.
I was just
Oh,
like,
that got me.
yeah, there was multiple moments like that where you're just like, damn, Pixar, I didn't expect you to go that hard.
I know. And especially I think that oh my gosh, that panic attack scene, it's so like anxiety spiraling and then knowing
Yep.
that she herself is trying to fight it as well, but is like paralyzed by everything that's happening and having to pull yourself out of it. I think getting to see Pixar animate Riley coming out of her own anxiety attack was so beautiful and touching. Like, I think, especially for people who struggle a lot with anxiety, that
Yep.
like grounding yourself via like touch and sensation, it was really, really beautiful to see that animated like that with such care.
Oh, I agree completely. And yeah, like you said, that the little touch too, where joy comes into anxiety's like area, where kind of like spinning out of control, and you see, you need to let her go, and she has like the little like tear like wells up in her eyes, and I was just like, oh my God, this scene is destroying me right now. And I think a lot of like other people too. Like I've like I said, just seeing kind of the crowd reactions, having people around me the multiple times that I've been, it's pretty much all been the same, each time that I've seen it. So
It's truly an emotional roller coaster.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you feel all the feels in this film, for sure. And yeah, I mean, friendship is just like such an important aspect to this film with, with the friendship between Grace, Bree, and Riley. Can you just talk about, I know you guys, I don't think got a ton of opportunities to work together in the film, but just working with the other girls and helping bring that friendship to life to the screen?
Yeah, surprisingly, I feel like a lot of what we recorded that ended up being in the film was together,
Oh, it
which I'm
was?
really
Okay.
grateful for. We had, I think, maybe 3 sessions together, um, or two. Might have been, might have been two.
That was a while back.
Yeah, but it was three. No, three. No, I, we'll
Two
leave
or
that for the
three. Or
past me. It's fine. We're there. But yeah, I think like the girls have said we just clicked instantly, and it was really really cool to get to grow with them as this film progressed and experience this whole big movie together. And they are honestly just the sweetest. I feel like we had so much fun in the booth together. Like one of my favorite memories is based it, all of my favorite memories I think are recording with each other, like Kelsey in the middle directing us and all of us connecting across the room. It was so much fun, and they're truly so talented.
I feel like, yeah, it must have made it so much fun to have people because I know a lot of times with
Yeah.
voice acting, I would say not always, but a good amount that you're doing it, just by yourself, recording your lines. So to have someone
Yeah.
there with you to be able to bounce like the lines, back and forth off each other, yeah, I'm sure that just must have made it so much fun for you guys.
Oh my God, totally. Like, especially it was kind of in a decline for a while recording with other people, but post-pandemic,
Bring everyone in.
nothing since. It's definitely solidified that whole recording isolated and stuff like that. But we feel really really blessed to have gotten to record together, and yeah, there's something a little bit kind of you can only get with recording in real time together,
Yeah,
feeding off of the body language, like the energy in the room. We would just
exactly.
do this scene so many times and feel so connected to each other.
I'm glad that you guys got the opportunity to do that.
Me
Just to
too.
have each other, in the booth and going back and forth. Who, so for you, because now we've gotten different answers for both of you guys. Who's your favorite emotion in the film and why?
Ooh. I feel like this is definitely a hard one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
honestly, like
choosing between my favorite children.
yeah, I say I love them. I love all the characters, the emotions. They're all great. I would probably, for me, like, I mean, especially seeing this film, like anxiety, I just, even though she was kind of like the antagonist, like in the film, but I still love her. Um,
Yeah.
and then probably I love Joy too. So again, especially in this film, there was another line. I was talking to Sumayyah about this that where Anger calls her delusional, and she
Yeah.
kind of has that moment where she just like turns around.
Delusional?
That was so funny.
Ugh.
Um, so I think Joy. Yeah, it's tough because I mean, it's like I'm like, well, yeah, also like I like Disgust because I just love her sass, but then just going through the
Yeah.
rest of them too, I love them all, but
They all
like I'd
had
say
such
Joy and
like
Anxiety.
beautiful personalities.
Yep.
I honestly agree. I feel like um coming off of Inside Out 2, I really appreciate Joy's kind of like boundless positivity, but I love knowing that despite her being like an optimist, she's trying so hard to maintain this. Like it's so hard for herself even to keep it up all the time, and that's so relatable.
She has her
Um,
limits for sure,
she does.
but I think
She's drinking a little bit.
that's obviously like you said, that's
Yeah.
obviously like everybody has their limits, when it comes
Yeah.
to certain things, and like you said, I think that's super relatable. So you think Joy probably?
But it might be usurped by anxiety.
Okay.
I feel like I've definitely also felt that thing where she's like not exactly she's like a really well-rounded antagonist that kind of
Mhm.
comes back in to like the folds at the very end, and I don't know. It really hits home that like sometimes antagonizing yourself even, but like letting you take care of you and then yeah, just seeing it. I that moment at the end where they all comfort her and give her a chair and her
The
tea and
chair. I was just gonna say that. I love that where she kind of has her moment. She's like, "Well, what if this happens? This happens. This happens." And then Joy goes,
yeah.
"But it's not happening right now. Let's go over and sit in the chair." And yeah, I thought that was a great moment to kind of end the film on.
Yeah. That's definitely my inner monologue.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, we
But
gotta do
all right, so yeah, kind of gotten different answer. Well, Kensington did. She mentioned anxiety too. So we got joy, anxiety, and disgust. So we got different
it.
characters for each, which is awesome. What for you? What was your favorite thing to see play out from going from recording or even reading stuff in the script and then seeing it once the film was finally done, everything animated? What was your kind of favorite thing to see translated to the big screen?
Ooh, I think honestly, I mean, this is this kind of goes without saying, but the the animation when we're recording in the booth, we don't really see anything. And
Yep,
with animated projects, sometimes you see like you get to do ADR, but they animated around our voices, so we never saw much like in progress footage or like actual fully fleshed out and rendered scenes from the movie. So like the seeing all the belief system come together
that was
and
gorgeous.
all of the like textures and lighting, like it was like I was watching a Renaissance painting in front of me. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I picked up it was pretty much actually right after I saw the for the first time I ordered the Art of Inside Out 2. So
Yes.
I'm a sucker for that stuff. Like anytime there's a movie that comes out that I usually hope that it has like an art of book because I always
Yeah.
love to get the behind the scenes stories and just to see how everything was put together. So yeah, I picked that up and I already read through it once already. So
Oh my gosh. No, me too. I've got like four art books right behind here.
yep. Yeah,
I will definitely be ordering that.
I love that stuff so much. It's like, and then like hopefully once once the film gets released, well, the good thing is and I was telling Samaya this too that I'm so happy that the film got a 100-day theatrical window,
Yes.
just so it gets its chance. And like I was saying to her too, that I hope this kind of maybe teaches a lesson to some of the studios just as far as making sure you're giving your films like a long theatrical release and then
Yes.
put them out, on streaming afterwards. Because I mean, seeing the success that Inside Out 2 is having, I think is just like a great proof of that.
No, absolutely. Like it is so sad that so many films since the pandemic have had to just go straight to streaming, and it's you don't really get a lot of like conversation or the kind of like emotional impact lasting that like Inside Out 2 has had. And
Yep.
especially I think like for movie theaters too, like the way that they've struggled a ton. I think this is gonna be really great for all aspects of the industry.
Yeah, no, it's definitely huge for them. I'm sure they're really happy with this.
Yeah.
And the good thing is too is like I mean we got some great films coming up too that I think hopefully
Yes.
just carry on the rest of the summer. But and don't get me wrong, like love streaming. There's great shows and movies and stuff on
Mhm.
there, but I'll always be a theatrical first, like all about the theater experience because it just you can't being seeing a film on the big screen with a group of people. I think it's
It's
just
irreplaceable.
exactly. Yep.
And like physical media too. It's like that tangible experience of going out and being surrounded by other people and carrying that memory with you that you can't exactly get over a screen.
Yep. Grace, I am right there with you. Physical media all the way. I have like over to the side
Yes.
over here. I probably have about like it's over a thousand like thousand Blu-rays,
Oh
4Ks,
my gosh, you
steelbooks.
are my guy.
Yep. No, I am all about the physical media. So I gotta, yeah, I mean, once this like goes up for pre-order, I'll definitely be, ordering it right away. So
Absolutely.
when you've kind of just like looked back on your time of working on the film, I know you'd mentioned one of them kind of like already, but just what are some of your favorite memories that you're gonna cherish for the rest of your life working on this film?
I feel like it was just an incredibly surreal experience as a whole. But something that really kind of grounded me in reality was getting to like bring my dad along and meet Kensington and Sumaya and become such good friends with them and kind of experience this wild madness together. Like it's kind of crazy being like an animation fan and getting to tour Pixar and then
Oh yeah.
record there. Like it was really hard to wrap my head around it, but knowing that I wasn't alone in experiencing it is kind of reassuring.
I mean, I'm super jealous. That would definitely be something that hopefully maybe one day I'll get a chance to, go out there and tour it. Because I mean, just so much, history there with all the classic
No,
films
absolutely.
that they've put out. But yeah, I can imagine just the success of this film. Like obviously, I think everyone kind of thought that it would do really well. Just where the first one made, it was like 865 million or something like that worldwide. So we thought that it would do well. But I'm sure even for you guys, just like seeing, where it's like we talked about, it's already over 900 million. It's
Oh
on
yeah.
its way to passing a billion. Is
Like
that
when it
still kind of like a whirlwind for you?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Because we were under NDA for so long, I think it felt like my little fever dream.
Yep.
My little like my sweet little baby that would never see the light of day. So it's pretty crazy to see that this has like such a real impact. Um yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's definitely a film that I mean it's connected with people like obviously, people, more people going to see it, but just repeat, viewing as well. And I think it's going to be an important film that's, going to be like a conversation starter for families or just for, for individuals, seeing the film. And what does that kind of mean to you to being involved in a film like that that has connected with audiences on such a deep level?
It honestly means so much. I feel like emotional regulation and the topic of like emotional intelligence and being able to like I don't know, just talk about mental health in like a positive productive way is so important to me. I think especially like oh my gosh, when we went to the premiere, seeing like an Asian dad and his daughter come up and say that they saw the film together and they both loved it, like just like this topic of mental health and a lot of immigrant families that don't often talk about it. It's hard to explain the concept of anxiety and a lot of these different like grand psychology topics
Yep.
um, kind of with your children and also internalize it yourself. So I feel like this is just it's such animation and art is such an like easy way to cut into people's hearts and I feel like it's really doing that and that's incredible.
Yeah, I love that, Pixar films just in general, but like, Inside Out 2 specifically. It's something that everybody can basically enjoy. Little kids that even might not necessarily, especially if they're like really younger, might not necessarily get like all the messages, when they're young. But you have, them who can just appreciate it because of like the animation, the characters, how well rounded they are. But then, like teenagers, adults, everyone can kind of connect to it on some level. And then, like we had mentioned
Oh,
before, it's something that I think people can watch it at one point in their life, come back to it later on, and just have like a whole different appreciation for it.
especially since we carry these little guys in our heads every single day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of I feel like people there is such stigma around our own emotions. So like I don't it's very comforting to know that people are gonna take away that they should just love themselves and accept each other as well and hold a lot of space for being vulnerable and honest.
And I love that they mentioned that too. I think Joy had that line where, we love our girl Riley for who she is and just oh man, so many great like the writing too, just fantastic. So many great lines.
Yeah. Knowing
Um,
that our sense of self is fluid and it'll never be concrete like that, and we can't fault ourselves for wanting for being changing all the time. It's
yep. So good. What's been the reaction just like for you, I guess, like with like friends, family getting to watch it and just like I'm sure you probably have people that have tagged you in different things or messaging you. What's that been like since the film's been out now a couple weeks?
It's been pretty crazy, I'd say. I never thought that something I did would kind of have this reach. Like my grandparents and my uncle from New Zealand, like everyone is seeing this movie. Like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Friends from middle school and elementary school, my in my hometown before I moved, they're all reaching out, and it's really, really cool. And especially other like teens my age and younger as well. I saw this is how I know I've made it. I went on TikTok and I saw edits of Grace being made, and I was that's it. I peaked. I
There
can't
you
I
go.
can't go any higher than this.
Yeah, no, and Grace, and I was gonna say too before when we were talking about just I love the moments of getting to jump into some of the other characters' heads and getting to
Yes.
see their emotions. And I love when Grace when spills the tea
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna be on the same, we're gonna be going to a different high school." But I just love getting to see the different characters' heads and their emotions inside their heads as well.
It's so fun. I love how they did that in the first movie as well. I'm so glad they kept that in.
Yeah, yeah, it was so good. Is just to kind of wrap things up for you, Grace, is there anything else that you would like to say about, working on the movie overall? What's next for you and where can fans keep up to date with your work moving forward?
Yeah. Honestly, I think this movie has kind of just been the adventure of a lifetime, and I say this knowing that I still have so many years ahead of me. It's just been so magical to be a part of, and I'm really glad and incredibly grateful that I got to be a part of telling a story like this and the kind of impact that this has for young Asian kids and everybody everywhere who's going to see this and knowing that it's it's really important that we kind of not separate our emotions from wanting to like protect us and be there for us,
Yeah.
feeling all the feels.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, and it's something too that I mean, not everyone, some people they go, they have like a great, career as far as like film and TV goes, but it's not every day that you get a project like this that just kind of resonates with everyone. It's a big blockbuster hit as far as like box office goes. So it just connects with so many people. Not everyone necessarily gets that chance to be able to still be so young in your career and to have a project like this. Like you said, I'm sure it just means the world to you.
It really does. Like, I mean, for Sumayyah, it's her first ever credit. Like,
Yeah.
that is crazy levels of amazing.
I was talking to her about that. I was just like, I mean, the fact that this is your first project that you've ever done and to have it just know like this is like I mean this is insane to have like start off like your career, but even for you guys and for Kensington as well. I mean, just to have you guys have such a long career ahead of you guys and to have a project like this, I'm sure it's just insane. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed that it doesn't take, although I do want them to take their time, but I hope it doesn't take 10 years to make the next Inside
Yeah,
Out. Because I mean, there's so much that they can do with this franchise and this world.
absolutely. There's a lot to be said about sequels and like the kind of creative power that they hold. There's so much in the world of Inside Out that could be explored.
Yeah, yeah. I was just say, I mean, there's still so much that you can just do in her teenage years. I still
Yes.
think, falling in love for the first time, going to college,
Oh
and
my
then,
God.
then you start getting into like
Yeah.
adulthood and there's all kinds of, stuff that you could
Even
do
the
there.
emotions that they mentioned they had cut from the film, like
Yep.
guilt and shame, like there's so much potential there to unpack all the stigma around it, and it's really there's a lot we could dig.
And see, I love that you brought that up because, and I don't know if that was maybe if it was like mentioned, like if you just like knew it where you'd like worked on the project, but that was in like the art of book. And
Yeah,
so
I think they might have mentioned it a tiny bit, but yeah.
yeah, so I love that you brought that up, but yeah, and I love those little details, just finding out things that maybe
Mhm.
didn't necessarily make the finished project, but
I'm sure you've seen it. I've been looking at a lot of concept art online,
yeah,
but the like the whole layer that they had for guilt,
yeah,
that was crazy.
yeah. Although I mean, I'll give kids credit though, but I get that probably would have been pretty creepy for some kids, like just seeing that played out, in
I
animation.
know. In the first film, like the clown sequence already had me like a little on
Yeah,
edge.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, and I gotta bring up too. God, what's his the dog and the Pouchy. I was like,
Yeah,
why am I afraid? I've seen the movie 3 times, but
Bloofy and Pouchy.
Bloofy and Pouchy. God, those guys were so funny.
My gosh, Lance Slashblade.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was great. I don't consider myself like a super gamer, but I still picked up on the reference because I played enough just to
yeah.
get those little things that they were doing there. I really appreciated that.
The walk into the door.
Yeah, kind of like getting stuck, walking
So good.
so good and just like I have a darkness inside of me and then disgust just saying like, don't you say that about yourself.
Ah,
Oh man,
yeah,
I can't wait to watch it again, to pick it up when it comes out. Which we got to wait for a little bit because it's got its run, but
100
that's
days in
perfectly
theaters.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. I can't wait to see where the movie ends up, once like the
Hmm.
box office is totally done because it's
Oh
already
my
made
gosh, that's crazy to think
history.
about. We're only so far into it.
Yeah, only three weeks like into the release, so we still got a little ways to go.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, Grace, I just want to say thank you so much again for your time, for coming on
Thank
here,
you.
talking about, your character, just like, your story and working on the film. It was wonderful talking to you. And oh yeah,
Likewise.
as far as like moving forward for people to
Oh
follow
yeah.
you, because you got yeah, I know like Instagram. Do you have any other social media?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Grace M. Lou, at Grace.mlou, and then on Twitter at Grace M. Lou.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll make sure to put that, down below in the description so people can give you a follow and keep up to date with your journey. But yeah, thank you so much again,
Thank
and
you so much.
you're welcome, and you are welcome back anytime in the future.
I can't wait. Hi, I'm Grace Lou. I play Grace in Inside Out 2, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Watch Inside Out 2 in theaters and see all the